We all know that feeling, right? The information overload, it's just relentless. You've got these huge piles of raw data, maybe three competing articles, a PDF of lecture notes, that messy meeting recording from this morning, beat. And, we often just take that whole stack, dump it into some general AI, and what pops out? A generic, kind of shallow summary. I mean, it's better than reading everything, sure, but it's not actually useful. But what if? What if you could give an AI only your specific files and turn it into a dedicated, like hyper-focused expert just for your project? That's the real shortcut we're going to dive into today.
That's absolutely right. Welcome to the Deep Dives. If you're here, it's probably because you need knowledge, you need it fast, and you need it thoroughly. And yeah, this time we're focusing on mastering Google's free tool, NotebookLM. Our mission today is way beyond simple summaries. We're actually showing you how to craft one single detailed prompt that delivers a finished, organized product, not just, an answer. This is about automating real, sophisticated work.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our roadmap's pretty simple. First, we got to cover the critical difference, this idea of grounding. Then we're going to run through 6 powerful productivity hacks. These cover content analysis, meeting coordination, studying, even prepping for a job interview. Let's jump in.
Okay, first thing you got to know. NotebookLM acts like a private AI assistant. And that fundamental difference, it changes everything about how reliable it is. It literally starts as an empty space, knows nothing about the world.
So it's basically a blank slate, like a super smart library, but with 0 books until you bring them in.
Exactly. Spot on. Its power comes only from the sources you upload. Your PDFs, DOCX files, plain text, website links. You could even throw in audio and YouTube links now. You feed it the knowledge and bam, it becomes an expert, but only on your specific curated stuff.
Right, and here's the key term we mentioned, grounding. This just means the AI is strictly forced-like, locked down, to look for answers only inside those documents you provided. It's like putting up a knowledge boundary.
Yeah, and if you compare this to, say, ChatGPT or Gemini or other general large language models, those are more like, wise old experts drawing from the entire internet. They know pretty much everything globally, but because they source globally, they can sometimes, hallucinate. Make stuff up.
Ah, okay. So grounding acts kind of like a truth guardrail. It basically eliminates that possibility of the AI inventing facts because it literally can't access the general web. It's locked down just to your source material.
And what's really cool here is the immediate bump you see in accuracy. It doesn't just give you the answer. It shows you the exact page or paragraph in your uploaded file where it found that answer. That transparency, it's critical.
Makes sense. And getting started sounds pretty easy. You just sign in with your Google account, click plus new notebook, and you should probably treat each notebook like its own dedicated project, right? Like Q3 budget review or competitor analysis. It's an organization tool too, not just AI.
Yeah, the flexibility is key. You can pull files straight from Google Drive, upload local audio files, -MP3, WAV, whatever, or just paste in a website or YouTube link. The system digests it super quickly, and then, boom, you got your private expert ready for those complex commands we're talking about.
So bottom line for this section, NotebookLM takes that abstract, know-it-all internet expert and turns it into a hyper-specific expert focused only on your documents.
Right. It guarantees the answers only come from the knowledge you actually gave it.
Okay, let's shift into strategy. Hack number 1. Turning raw research into an instant content analysis kit. We want way more than a summary here. We need like reusable content strategy from a really dense article or maybe a long video.
The structure of your prompt is absolutely everything here. You got to start by assigning the persona, act as a content strategy expert. That immediately sets the frame, tells the AI what kind of output you're expecting. Then you ask for a specific, structured 3-part analysis. First part, the quick summary, simple enough. Second, the deep analysis. And here you wanted to identify the target audience and the main arguments. But the third part, that's the strategic gold. Creative ideas.
Ah, the creative ideas section. And that's where you'd ask for things like alternative titles and maybe specific social media content, like 5 ready-to-go tweets or LinkedIn posts complete with hashtags. Whoa, hold on. Imagine scaling this. You could analyze like 10 competitor articles in just minutes, taking that raw research directly into actionable content strategy, like immediately. That's a massive competitive advantage.
Exactly. And that kind of strategic thinking flows perfectly into hack number 3, building the superior article outline. The old problem spending hours reading 3, 4, 5 top Google articles, just trying to piece together one better outline. It's such a slow manual grind.
So how do we use NotebookLM to shortcut that whole competitor research step?
Okay, so you upload those 3 to 5 top-ranking articles. Then in your prompt, you tell it to act as an SEO expert and content editor. And you split the command into 2 really critical sections. Part A is all about competitor analysis. You asked it to identify the overall search intent, like are people trying to learn something or are they looking to buy? You have a look for common topics across all the articles. But the most important bit here, ask it to find the content gaps. What crucial information is missing from all of those competitor pieces?
Finding those content gaps. Yeah, that's like the 80-20 rule for great SEO, isn't it? It's what really separates a pretty good outline from a truly standout one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then comes part B, the new article outline. You instruct it to create a complete content plan, H1s, H2s, H3s, the works. And here's the key. You explicitly tell it that one main section must address those crucial content gaps it found in part A. See? That's strategic thinking baked right into the output.
Okay, so the real trick here isn't just getting summaries of the competition. It's using the AI to do that comparative analysis and actually find the white space, the opportunity.
It basically replaces hours of tedious competitor research by pinpointing exactly what you should write about next to win.
All right, let's move on to automating tasks, specifically action items. We all dread that, hour-long meeting recording, especially when you have to scrub through the audio just trying to find who promised to do what. Ugh.
Oh yeah, it's boring, messy work. So hack number 2 turns that recording into a crystal clear action plan. You just upload the audio file MP3, M4A, WAV. It handles most common types, and the system transcribes it and digests the whole conversation. The prompt structure needs to be really focused here. Act as a professional meeting secretary. And the key instruction is to demand a structured summary, specifically in Markdown format.
Markdown's great for this, yeah, because you can just copy and paste it straight into other tools like Slack or Asana or whatever project manager you use.
Precisely. You ask for specific sections. What was the meeting goal? Who were the main speakers? What decisions were made? And of course, the essential to-do list. Crucially, that to-do list needs to be formatted as a clear table with 3 columns: task, person responsible, and deadline.
Right, that attention to structure is what makes the output instantly actionable. It's not just like a rambling list of chores. It's a fully formatted table ready to drop into Jira or Trello immediately.
It saves such a huge amount of time. You go directly from a recording, which is kind of useless on its own, to an assigned task list. Super efficient.
Okay, now hack number 4 deals with feedback. Getting honest, actionable feedback on written drafts takes time, and let's be real, it often feels kind of vulnerable submitting your work to a human editor, right? So the idea is you upload your draft doc. Then the prompt asks NotebookLM to create a 360-degree feedback report by basically adopting different personas, like role-playing.
Yeah, and this is where that specific persona instruction really, really shines. You get this layered feedback from different perspectives.
So persona 1 might be the strict editor. Find the 3 weakest arguments, maybe suggest how to shorten sentences without losing the core meaning. Then persona 2 could be the new reader. Point out every confusing bit of jargon, spot the section that was maybe the most boring or just hard to follow.
And persona 3, maybe the marketing expert, brings that commercial eye. Rewrite the intro to be punchier, suggest a better, clearer call to action for the end.
Okay, but I gotta ask, if an AI is giving me strict editor feedback, isn't it just gonna be like overly critical? Won't it just kind of crush my morale? How do you make sure the feedback is actually helpful, not just harsh?
That's a really great question. Honestly, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes when I'm trying to self-edit. This kind of focused feedback is essential precisely because it's objective. It doesn't carry human bias or, office politics. It's just analyzing your text against defined criteria, which actually makes it much easier to accept and act on. Yeah.
So the magic is getting that specific objective feedback across multiple viewpoints, like instantly, without the emotional baggage.
Exactly. That clear, actionable feedback drives immediate improvement without the awkwardness. All right, let's pivot a bit to personal growth learning. Hack number 5. Study guide kit creation. If you're a student juggling lecture slides, maybe 3 different PDFs, handwritten notes for an exam, this basically ends that chaos.
Okay, so you upload all the materials just for one chapter or one specific topic, and the prompt structure is clean and simple, act as a dedicated tutor. Then you ask for a complete study guide kit. And what's actually in that kit? Sounds comprehensive.
It is. It includes a simple summary of all the key concepts, complete with real-world examples to make it stick. Then it generates, 10 terminology flashcards in that very specific term definition format, ready for Quizlet or whatever. But it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
It continues with maybe 5 long-form essay questions, which are perfect for practicing that higher-level critical thinking. And it finishes off with a 10-question multiple-choice quiz, and this is key. It includes a final answer key. It's like a full organizational study system generated on demand.
Wow. That could save a student hours of just manual formatting and organizing. It takes all those scattered files and turns them into one single cohesive learning tool.
Oh, definitely a massive time saver. And hack number 6 applies this same kind of structured approach, but to career prep, creating the perfect interview script.
Right. This one requires combining 3 specific uploads: your CV or resume, the actual job description you're applying for, and the company's About Us page from their website. It kind of forces you to synthesize all that key knowledge before you even walk into the interview room.
The prompt is simple. Act as a career coach. The output you want is a comprehensive interview prep plan. First, there's an analysis section that directly matches your CD experience point by point to the required skills listed in the job description. Super helpful. Then, the really crucial part is the script section. It actually drafts a specific tell me about yourself introduction tailored to that company and that role. And critically, it helps you structure your success stories using the mandated STAR method, situation, task, action, result.
Yeah, the STAR method. That's pretty much mandatory for behavioral questions these days, isn't it? Interviewers want those measurable results, not just vague stories about what you worked on.
Precisely. It forces you to structure your accomplishments into a narrative that clearly demonstrates measurable outcomes. It stops you from just repeating facts off your CV. And then the plan finishes by suggesting maybe 3 smart research questions for you to ask the interviewer at the end. Shows you did your homework.
Okay, so the career coach prompt effectively turns those raw materials, your CV, the job description, company info, into structured behavioral answers ready for the interview.
It helps structure those vital behavioral answers using that mandatory STAR format, making you sound prepared and results-oriented. Hashtag, tag, tag, outro.
So let's zoom out. What does this all really mean? The true power of these AI tools like NotebookLM, it isn't just the tool itself or even the, complex technology underneath. It's your ability to structure the command you give it, your prompt.
A single, well-crafted, complex prompt transforms that raw data, all those messy documents, those audio files, those competitor articles, into a finished, actionable product, a content plan, a meeting report, a study guide, something ready for immediate use.
You kind of have to think like an engineer of information, right?
Yeah.
You're stacking these Lego blocks of data, and the prompt you write, that's the blueprint for the finished house.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, and we really encourage you, the listener, to experiment. Take one of these 6 detailed prompts we talked about and just change the persona. See what happens. Turn the content editor into, I don't know, a satirist. Or turn the dedicated tutor into a military strategist. See how the AI adapts its output based purely on that specific framing. It's fascinating. And here's maybe a final thought for you to chew on. If this kind of specialized, grounded AI can synthesize competing articles, analyze user intent, and spot missing content ideas in literally minutes, how quickly will human-generated content need to evolve just to keep pace with the quality and speed this focused automation can provide? Something to think about. Out to your own music.